was more clutch than Kobe Bryant. He was absolutely 100% correct, statistically speaking. 1,000% correct. Stephen A. Smith got pissed off. Max got drugged through the mud, and they pulled up a graphic, and everybody had to shut the hell up. So the thing that Max was saying, he was saying, you want to know why people are disagreeing with this and saying, oh, you have no idea what you're talking about, because Kobe's clutch moments were bigger than Kawhi's, which means that they stood out in your mind more. But when it came down to the last 2 minutes, okay, Kawhi made more buckets, was more efficient from three, from the elbow on in, shot a higher percentage. Everything in the clutch was better than Kobe in the postseason, okay? Now, he wasn't talking about career-wise. He was talking about Kawhi and 2 seasons ago when they won the NBA championship. He's like, this year's Kawhi is more clutch than Kobe has ever been in the postseason. Yeah. That is 1,000% correct. So I'm making that comparison because maybe it's because we're not seeing 12, 15 tackles for loss a game. Maybe it's because we're seeing 5, 6 sacks a game. But just like I said, against Pitt, we allowed it. You're right. It didn't feel like it, because when I looked at the box score, I'm like, we allowed 22 rushing yards? What the hell? Like, wow. Yeah. Like, I didn't, mind you, giving up rushing yardage wasn't the thing in that game. It was getting to the quarterback. It seemed like forever. Okay. Like, why does he have so much time? Oh my God. And then, with that, you combine that with, not combine it with, but when that happens, obviously it's harder to keep up with your receiver if you're a guy in the secondary. I will say this though. Damn it. I had it at the tip of my tongue. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot what I was listening to or what I was reading that said Blake is trying to let his guys be themselves without him having to give them help. Like, okay, look, I believe our guys are good enough to get to the quarterback with 4. So I'm not going to blitz. I'm not going to blitz unless I really, really have to, or I really, really want to, or we really, really need to right now. And can you blame him for having belief in his guys? Isn't that what a coach is supposed to do? I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. But, I mean, we know what we're recruiting as fans. The coaches know better. So, he's going to bring a 5th guy every now and then, whatever. And then, so, listen, I'm not saying you're full of crap, Marsh. I'm saying I'm not ready to pull that trigger yet. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. If I, when I feel that way, but I'm not ready to say that yet.
Okay. And I can appreciate that line of thinking, but there needs to be a balance, right? Like, sure. you can't throw Andy Dalton out there and be like, okay, like, I believe in you, Andy. Like, go out and throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like at some positions, that's going to work.
Hey, that's my
quarterback. But at some positions, it's not going to.
I was waiting for Marsh to say so. I was waiting for Marsh to get the
That's my quarterback, so I'm praying that he can do that.
Right? But that's kind of, that would be my counterpoint to that is, at some positions, that's going to work. Other positions, it's not going to. And the argument that you could make is if that's the attitude and Blake is going out and saying, okay, you know what, we're going to generate a pass rush with only 4 guys. Well, the problem with that is on the downs that we don't, like, we struggle on the edges with our corners and with our linebackers at the second level. So the downs that our guys aren't getting elite production, then that puts stress on other position groups that can't handle it. That's why you're seeing the linebackers get exposed so bad, is because it's like, well, you know what? Like, this guy has time to throw, and like our linebackers just haven't been elite this year. Obviously we've seen an uptick having younger guys come onto the field, so I'm not trying to dog them. But you guys get where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I do. I think what it comes down to? It's missed tackles. That's one of the biggest things that it comes down to is speed and missed tackles. And I think we have missed so many tackles this year that it's just been so detrimental to our defense, and it pisses me off. And that in that case, it's not Blake's fault. I just feel like this defense, the last 2 games it has played very, very well, and I think the defense gets kind of a bad rap this year. While they haven't produced as many turnovers as in years past or sacks. All I care about at the end of the day is points allowed. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike?
I mean, that's you score more points than the other team, then yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like if we can give up 14 points or 19 points, like I will take that every single day, because in years past, those are the kind of games that, even if we do give up 14 points, we still find a way to lose because we can't score points. We don't have that problem now.
Now, Marsh, let me remind you, and no, I am not saying that this is the reason why the defense has been looking at this, but let me remind you that we're probably not going to see that for as long as Lashley's here, because we're running 80 plays on offense. Yeah. The defense is out a lot. So I had to remind myself of that a couple times this season, even though, just like I said, and I prefaced it with what I just said, that is not the reason why the defense has looked that way. It's because of the offense is in and out. But there are instances where, okay, well, damn, the offense just went 3 and out or whatever. Yeah. They scored too quick and the defense is right back out there. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe the bad optics are just that we are so confident in this bend don't break thing. And dude, I mean, I know you said that you've come to terms with it. I just don't know if I can. Because
listen, it was hard. Don't get me wrong, man. I get it. I still have that thing that it's like, give me, where the hell is this? Because I remember, I just turned 37, so I'm a little older than you guys. I remember when Miami giving up 3 yards and 4 yards, on a rushing play or on any down, was like, what the hell's going on? It was more like 1 yard, 2 yards. Oh, it's 3rd and 8 now.
Yep.
All the time. Yeah. It was like that all the time.
Dude, I cannot help but just ball my fists and just get so frustrated when I see Pitt's backup quarterback just driving the field on us repeatedly, or UAB's quarterbacks driving the field on us, and that's, I think that's the optics that I'm having a hard time with, right? Because it's not like we're giving up a ton of points. It's not like we're giving up a ton of yards besides Louisville. But it sucks. It sucks seeing these Division II quarterbacks just drive the field on us like we're, I don't know, like we're some high school in New Mexico.
And then, you're right, dude. No, listen, I'm not even gonna offer, or I guess I am, do a rebuttal, but then I guess you gotta look at the flip and say, well, they adjust after that, and not much is, let me not even say not much, but they do make adjustments after that, and you see some type of improvement throughout the game defensively. But still, trust me, I know what you're saying, because you're right. And whoever tries to argue it is just being, they need to shut up and smell the roses.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're kind of we're officially pretty much at the halfway point of the season. Let's start with the defense. Mike, who is one player that has surprised you and one player who has somewhat disappointed you and needs to step up in the second half?
Player that has surprised me, I would say Ivy, but I believed in him all along. And after that first game or 2 games, you haven't heard anything from him in a negative sense. So I would say him, but no. I'll start with disappointed. I'm disappointed in Bradley, because you know how I've always felt about him, Marsh. Yeah, and
that's your boy,
Bradley Jennings. Yeah, man. I when he looked good after that first game, I think it was second game. I think it was UAB. He looked really, really good out there, and I was like, thank God, this is it, whatever. And then after that, you really it's just kind of been for naught. But disappointed in that because of the way he started this. The season had, to me, his best game of his career, and then it hasn't been anything else. And I guess I'll throw Nesta in there, because we did an episode I did it. I was on your show a couple months ago during the offseason, and I said, if you guys remember correctly, we need one defensive tackle to just have a great season for this defense to be it. Doesn't matter who it is, but it should be Nesta, because wasn't he the number 1, number 2, number 3 D tackle when we signed him? So I'll say him. I'm not saying he's having a bad year, but he's not having the year we wanted.
He's been up and down.
Yeah.
He hasn't been consistent. I mean, you look at the Louisville game, or especially the FSU game. Nesta was a bully, a straight just bully, and I feel like we haven't seen that same production. And I want to make a point to that Bradley Jennings. When you look at UAB's offense, they were very, a very power run oriented offense, and Bradley Jennings suits and McLeod suits better to defending that kind of offense. And since then, you play teams like Clemson and Louisville. Those slow linebackers are going to get exposed.
Yep. So, good point. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and so I think it really just depends on the team that you're going up against, which linebackers are going to step up. And so I agree with you on that point. Jordan, what do you think about, one defensive player who has you've been pleasantly surprised with, and also who needs to step up?
It's hard. I'm going to go with a tie for pleasantly surprised. Jared Harrison Hunt. Not that I didn't believe in him. We heard a lot about him last season, and even coming into the year that he might pop. But he really has he's revolutionized our defensive line play. He's really solidified the middle of the field for us and gotten great pass rush. And then I also just, I personally was really tough on DJ Ivy after the UAB game. And, I'm happy to eat crow, right? There's nothing that makes me happier than a Miami Hurricanes football player making my opinions look stupid when they're negative, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
And so I will scream from the rooftops that DJ Ivy has impressed me so much since that first week. I actually have some stats right here, and I want to share them on the record just to let everyone know how good DJ has been since then. So these are his season stats. He's been targeted 16 times this year. He's only given up 5 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown. And if you remember, almost all of those yards were in week 1. So, he has been locked down ever since week 1.
Yeah.
And then, to go to a guy who's disappointed, I don't know, man. That's kind of the benefit of being a little pessimistic, is that there's not many guys that can disappoint you, right? I didn't really believe in our linebackers that much. I guess it's probably Nesta, I'd say, or maybe Amari Carter. I don't know.
That's who I was gonna say.
Yeah. I don't mind Amari as a player. Is he out of position sometimes? Yes. I don't think he's bad, but dude, you got to stay on the field. You got to use your head a little bit and not to smash in another player's head. You got,
use your head.
That's not what it's for. Exactly. So I don't know. It's probably Amari. We need better decision making from him. He's the captain, I assume, for a reason. He's a leader on that defense, and he's actually a crucial rotation player for us. So we just need him on the field, man.
Yeah. Amari, I've said it on the podcast a lot. Amari may not be the best in pass coverage, but there's a reason why he's out there so much. He provides a crucial role to this defense, and when he gets thrown out in the first half, that hurts this defense tremendously. And I think a lot of people need to ease up on Blake Baker a little bit, because he's had to play maybe even half the games he's been at Miami for a defensive coordinator pretty much without one of his starting safeties for a majority of the game. And so, that pisses me
It's so ridiculous, dude. I can't help but laugh when you even say
it's like Saturday Night Live skit.
I know. He's missed more than half the season because of targeting penalties. He hasn't even been hurt.
It pisses me off so much. Okay, let me ask you this. If Miami is to win 10 games in the regular season, if they're to win out or, get 9 wins, who's the one offensive player that needs to step up more? What do you think, Mike?
Offensive player, it has to be a receiver. I'll take any receiver. But to answer your question, I'm gonna go Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Not Pope, but his high school teammate. Jesus Christ, Mike. Wiggins. Thank you. I'm gonna go Wiggins, and